Allow the children
It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind, like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Man of the masses, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, my ego now I'm more, I'm do. My ego diary, my ego number one. Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làwọn tó jódodo. Ayégun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Ayégun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Ayégun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Ayégun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí. Ayégun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Máyégún diary politico. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún
Today. Hello there. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun live. And thank you very much for joining us this hour. Please, after reading the caption of the broadcast, kindly read the description as well. See, these few steps are what will get you in to the program. Then like the broadcast, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. Just about 24 hours ago, I opened this same program. This was yesterday, reporting on the recent killings of defenseless, armless people of Riom, where we were told that so far at the time, over 30 people, over 30 bodies were recovered after the Fulani terrorists attacked some of these communities, one after the other, from 3 a.m. until very early in the morning. And throughout that attack, throughout that invasion, there was no single military vehicle or any military team or any security outfit at all to respond to the SOS messages being sent from Riom until the terrorists were done and gone. So the people started picking up the bodies of their loved ones. And of course, again, Tifnumbu's regime maintained the skill of their silence, making sure that without saying anything about it, it will fizzle out until the next one. A farmer in Kaiama community in Kolokuma, Opokuma, sorry, I may just have mixed up the name properly, but you get what I mean. Kaiama community in Bayelsa state, a farmer was attacked by alleged Fulani Herdsmen on his own farm. Now, the youth of the community who have had enough took to the streets peacefully, making the demand that the Fulani and their herds and their cows should leave their community. Again, a community that has been under attack, several attacks from this same Fulani terrorists, attacking the locals, killing them, killing some of them in the process. No arrest is made and no justice for the victims, so to say. So this community decided to, as usual, where the law fails, where the law failed, the people can possibly take the laws into their own hands. Maybe not the laws, but their own destiny. So they took to the streets. They haven't even gone far from the starting point of their peaceful protest, demanding that the Fulani terrorists and their cows should leave their community. They haven't gone far when the Nigerian Army ambushed them and immediately started shooting at them, as usual, to protect the cows and their others. Here.
The whole world to hear, we are trying to hold our youth body. Our youth body is trying to hold our boys' beds. The Hausa communities start the attack on us. We have no option than to repel back. The whole world here. Soldiers are shooting on us. Soldiers are shooting on us. Thunder fire you! Soldiers are shooting on us. Soldiers are shooting on us. So nothing anybody. Eh? Nothing. Okay. Hey! This is not out of breaking. This is not out of breaking. You mad? This is not out of breaking. This is not out of breaking. You mad? You mad? This is not out of breaking.
You see, while I was watching that video before bringing it here, there was this thought on my mind, right? And that is, hang on. How do you think the rest of Africa, let's start with Africa, how do you think they actually see Nigeria in this day and time where the internet actually connects just everyone? And like you are watching this video, right? I mean, watching this broadcast right now. You are accessing this from God knows where on the surface of this earth. Meaning the information technology, right? So everybody sees what is going on in Nigeria. They read about all these Fulani herdsmen, killing people, kidnapping people. They will see videos of people crying, because they just killed their loved ones. How do you think the rest of Africa actually sees Nigeria when they, from far, as an African, as an African from other African countries, right? If you by any chance should be watching this video, I won't mind if you can just tell us, like, how do you see that? Like, I don't know what they told you about Nigeria, because Nigeria used to be that big brother for real. There are historical, fact and evidence to back how much influential Nigeria was in Africa back in the days, especially when other African countries were having all of their own troubles at the time. Nigeria had their own trouble, but Nigeria was so influential that she impacted on so many African countries. And I bet some of you, I don't know what they told some of you right now, or maybe what you see from far and what they told you before now, because I can imagine me from that contraption, Nigeria, reading every day every day about Fulani killing people in Ghana. Can you actually like imagine that this is happening in, let's say, Ghana or South Africa? I mean, see, a lot of you are like, no, it's impossible. I know. I'm just saying, like, how do you think other Africans actually sees Nigeria when they come across this and see the videos of, shattered bodies, burnt bodies, burnt properties, and it is almost like every day, every day. Sorry, it's like I'm already in the future, yeah? Pardon me. I'll fix that. 17th, of course. I'll fix that. Anyway. Because someone once said on Mayegun's Diary Political and said, the news coming from Nigeria every day are so depressing. So depressing that it is like people have been longing for a break. Something like, oh, Nigeria just eats 20,000 megawatt electricity. Oh, Nigeria just hit the milestone a year after the end of a decade-long terrorism. Now, a year after that, Nigeria has produced, I'm just saying, like, millions, tens or hundreds of millions of tons of farm produce that they have now produced even more than what they need. Those are news that you can get, right? Or news like, oh, 22 former governors, 18 present governors, 140 National Assembly members, former and present, have been sentenced to death for corruption. That would be a good news, but that would be far-fetched, right? That would be far-fetched. So let's leave that, dealing with all of them that way. But something good to come and say, oh, wow, this is meaningful. This one is good. It is so tiresome if you are not reading about them looting, wasting. Then you will see them as well, right? Defending murderous Fulani terrorists. When the terrorist attacks people, you will never see the police response, nor the military response, no matter how close they are to the scene of the attacks. Because they always have to wait for the order from above. I have never seen anything like this in my life. That Nigeria, as indigenous as many, many people from every part that forms this particular Nigeria, you have no other tribe or other ethnic nationality that formed a militia group and started, migrating en masse to go and kill people from other places other than the Fulanis. These Fulani terrorists. So the military will wait for order from above. They will need, so even if you are being slaughtered, as we have seen many times, right? If the village is being like invaded and people are being killed, if any one of them manages to even reach out to the authority, it is just a futile effort, like effort in futility. That is what Nigeria is, because from the above, it has been set up that way. It can be changed, and that is why yesterday I was asking, I said, who then can we say is protecting the Fulani terrorists, even the Fulani herdsmen that are invading people's farms, destroying their farms, and whenever they protested that, they get attacked. Unlucky ones get killed. Do you understand that? So the Fulani terrorists themselves feels like, okay, when Boko Haram was around, because that was pretty much how everybody saw it. So how do you want us to see it now? Boko Haram is finally dead and buried officially. So who are now those powerful people in Nigeria that are more powerful than your president? your president, more powerful than your president, enough that the federal structure continues to treat them as the first-class citizens. What do I mean by that? Majority of you will say you are proud Nigerians, proud Nigerians. Now, as a proud Nigerian, if you are in any emergency, life-threatening emergency, right? The right thing to do is to call on the supposed authority if you can, right? But you know, it is like, no, they won't answer. Who are you going to call? Who even know their number? But the Fulanis and their cows, the armed terrorists and their guns, they don't even have to call the military or the police before they respond to defend them. How? Well, you have seen the one that just happened in Kaiama. That is just 1 out of 1,000 of such incidents. I have evidence of elderly people being flogged in Ogun State, simply because they resisted the Fulanis from invading their communities with their cows. And somehow, the military came the following day, dragged out all these old men, brought them into the public square. They flogged them in public. And then they told them that if they try that again, what they will face next will actually be worse. And also, if for any reason the Fulani decided to attack that community, they must never call them for help. I don't know what they call them in Abeokuta. Olosan military barrack, Abi, Olorumbo military barrack. I don't know what the name they give to them. Fact that happened. We have had communities where they experienced Fulani terrorist attacks. And immediately they regrouped. And they were about to launch their own reprisal, because most of the communities that these terrorists have attacked, the locals have always spotted them. They will say, oh, we spotted them. But we spotted them in those social area. In fact, they are mostly based there. They have their children, they have their wives and their family in that forest there. People always kind of locate them. So whenever they decide, okay, we are going to go after them now, boom, the military, the police, and God knows others who never showed up during the attacks being carried out by these terrorists in these communities for hours. Now, listen, the terrorist attacks in Nigeria are not just attacks that are always like flash. Whenever the Fulani terrorist attacks, they take their time. I'm talking about taking their time. That means they stay there for hours before they will finally retreat. In some places, after they retreat, few days after, they will attack again, because the survivors that ran into the bush probably will be back, trying to put together their leftovers, their burnt belongings, right? So while they are trying to put all of that together, they will attack them again. It has happened many times. So once they attack them the second time, some won't come back again. They'll just either find their relative elsewhere in Nigeria, and those who don't have a relative elsewhere in Nigeria, they just move straight to the refugee camp. That can be tens, if not hundreds of kilometers away from their own original land. Guess what? We have had it in Kaduna, where these terrorists, after killing this, the real inhabitants of these communities, the real indigenous people of these communities, they took over the land. They're actually living right there on the crime scene in Nigeria. So whenever you try to group yourself and say, anyone, for those who are physically doing that, for those who are physically kind of like saying, you know what, we're going to go after them now, the military will come. As people are crying that, oh, justice for this, justice for that, you need to arrest all the perpetrators. Boom. From those people who just survived this attack, going after these terrorists, the military will arrest them. Then they will parade them as the real attackers behind the recent attacks in that community you read in the news. They will come out and tell you that the attacks that just happened, that you read, that you saw women, men crying, telling you who attacked them. They will say, no, it's media propaganda. They will say it's some youth fighting over non-existing land. Some youth of the community are the ones who decided to come and burn down their communities, kill their women, kill their children, kill their elderly, and all of that, right? And then came back to the scene. But blame it on Fulani. This has been the modus operandi. We have seen it many times. And that is why you will never see any Fulani terrorists in their court. Because the whole structure is never to legally try them. They can't try them legally. They will tell you they've repented. You will see them do peace meeting with a known deadly terrorist, Fulani terrorist. Government officials, DSS, military, police, all of them, they will attend peace meeting with known Fulani terrorists. They'll tell you that they are doing non-kinetic approach. So we have seen this many times. Many times. And that is why the moment the government is not interested in actually ending the terrorism, or rather to manage and profit from it, not government this time around, politicians will rather manage it, you get, than fix it. They will rather watch lives being lost so that at least they will pretend to be solving something. Take your security vote, buy themselves property outside Nigeria, and if your wala too much, they will call a security summit. We are now deliberating on how to fix the security problem, and we have decided story. Right where they are holding their supposed security summit, Nigerians are being hunted down like animals in a game reserve. You know? So, a time is coming when everyone will understand that, like those of you who want to go and contest election, and then those of you who believes that, those of you who wants to fight the Fulani terrorist, what you will find out later is this, like the election, your real competitor or your real competition is not APC, Egbekegbe. It is the INEC, the entire institution that is built on compromise. It is there to do exact purpose, the reason why it is set up. Similarly, the Fulani terrorists that are roaming about all over Nigeria, they are the number one surveillors in Nigeria, by the way. The Fulani terrorists, they have the map of every part of Nigeria than your geographers and the rest of them can even imagine, can ever produce. So they said they are nomadic. Oh, they go about with their cows. They are just like that in their nature. But they have now proven to us that moving your cows about far away from your own region is a national security risk. Fulani Herdsmen, they are national threats. If not to Nigeria, they are to the indigenous people of from Edo Belt down to the southern part of Nigeria, and everyone else who can see them that way should speak out. Fulanis and their cows, they are threats to the national security of the Yorubas. Fulanis and their cows, they are threats to the national security of the Biafrans. Similarly to every other indigenous people of that contraption right now. They are. Because they are those who knows how vulnerable a community is. Where is the house of their village head here? The village head chief. Where is the police station? Where is the entrance? Where is the exit of this community? How far is this community to the next military post? How far is it to the next, hospital? How far? How many young people are here? What is their trade? Are they just farmers or are they hunters? Do they have guns? And their women, what kind of lifestyle do they have? Are they traders? Are they travelers? All those informations can be easily provided by these nomadic Fulani terrorists. And right now, in the southern part of Nigeria, even though it is on paper, but still, it is illegal for you to move cows. Open grazing is illegal in the southern part of Nigeria, but guess what? Then get laws. To implement the law is the problem now. Law says if they see you move cow in any part of southern Nigeria, any state in southern part of Nigeria, from Yoruba land to the Igbo land to the Ijebu, Yoruba, and every other land like that too. I'm not sure that of the Middle Belt, by the way, but I'm very sure of that of the southern Nigeria. As horrible as those criminal politicians are, they fooled our people by making laws that nobody will execute. 2 days ago, they kidnapped an Amotekun officer in Oyo State. I don't know if they've released him. And in Ondo State, a news said, Amotekun void about 6 kidnap attempts in Ondo State. So it is illegal. Who is going to arrest them? Don't say law no day to arrest them. But who is going to? So they fooled our people. And our people are still pretty much exposed to this danger. How can that not worry anyone who claim to be a leader? How? And if it worries you, I'm very worried. Bro, what are you doing about it? What have you done about it? Asking people to part with their lands? That Fulanis could go as far as Baba Fulani could walk or whatever from Shokoto, abi futa gallon, abi futa sorrow, abi futa sadness. Very, like about 1,000, 2,000 kilometers straight to Bayelsa in the creek, inside creek, to go and kill farmers, kill women on their way to kidnap people, ask for ransom. How is that logical? How is that sensible? That somebody will say, we are worried, we are working, we are doing everything to make sure that there is peace. There's no peace when you don't have justice. And we'll continue to speak on that. Right? Yesterday's survivors, they are today's victims. Today's survivors, they are the potential tomorrow's victims. Nigeria will happen to all of us eventually, as it is happening every day. You might have everything you think will shield you from it. Nothing shield you from the Nigeria, the consequences of the ruiners that are in charge of that contraption. Nothing shields you from experiencing or sharing from the consequences, so to say. But what is shielding you or making you feel like it's none of my business, so it no go concern me, is because somewhere in that your brain, right, there is this, I don't know what they call it, but there is this something that is blocking the part that will let you actually see that it affects you. And that part that is covering that your brain is also, can be referred to as, or is making you to live in denial of it. If you sit down and you look very well, you may not be a direct, it may not be directly affecting you, but it affects you every now and then. Okay, from your finances to your own health care. I am talking about those of you who are a little bit better off. They can say, you know what, there's nothing anybody can do about these people. It no will concern me. It will. It does concern you, right? So you can think about that. Again, the burial of Awujale, the late Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetona, the man that died at the very ripe age of 95 or thereabout, has now triggered the conversation around the traditional institutions in that contraption. There are so many things, or should I say, there are so many lies about Nigeria and everything that they have put together as, the factors or something that brought about or bonds this contraption together. Lies. And it is getting to that stage where when you begin to question them, you are likely going to see through some of the lies. Traditional institution. In Nigeria, they have their religious institutions. They have traditional institutions. And then they have, government institutions, so to say. But you have an idea of what I'm trying to say here, right? Don't worry. I am taking on that of the traditional institutions. I am a Yoruba man, an Ijebu man for that matter, right? And I do remember that one of the things that we were told why people do run away, or when I was younger, right? Why people were running away from becoming kings, especially in Yoruba land. It is believed that what makes you a king is because you have voluntarily, maybe after being chosen, and you have voluntarily accepted to abide by every rule that guides the institution you want to put yourself into. So my mom and then my late grandfather were the first set of people who told me that to become a king, you must eat the heart of the dead king. Because there is a particular ritual called Ikpebi. That is where you are going to start the initiation, the process of actually making you the bona fide, qualified by all standards. If you finish that right, that will make you the king. But when I grew up, when I became older, I realized that sometimes what makes our tradition a little bit dreaded for some is because of the exaggeration and then the secrecy that is associated with the process of the Yoruba traditional practice. So they have used the religion to blackmail, to blacklist, and to pretty much like, I wanted to use the word devilized the traditional practice. No thanks to this your Christian and your and your Muslim, Islamic and Christian religion. They have played so much. In fact, Islamic and then Islamic and Christian religion in Nigeria, they were built on converting people away from evil way, the traditional way. However, the royal stools, the traditional royal stools in Yoruba land is not about butchering anybody to be king. That is pretty much like far-fetched. And from what I heard and know, this practice has been long dropped. But just to make it pretty much like somebody who becomes a king just ate the heart of the dead king. Instead, when the king dies, they will take him into the court. Will take him to their inner chamber. They will open his heart, open his chest and remove his heart, which will then be prepared for whoever is going to be the next king. That practice no longer exists in Yoruba land. No. It's been like long, right? But again, there are other rituals, preparations, which includes teaching this new king what matters and what doesn't when it comes to the tradition, the culture, and every other thing about the place he's about to be a king over. Practice that has been in existence for centuries, say that, centuries. but it has become, blacklisted in such a way that they want it to go extinct. Now, a man that became king at a very young age, when he was brought back from London, and this was the 2nd of April 1960, Awujale. And then he was crowned, before he was crowned Awujale, they took him through all the traditional rituals, the process and everything that practically prepared him to be able to sit on a throne that makes everybody to go and bow for him as the traditional ruler, not as the Pope or what do they call that, chief imam of Mecca or anything. Is the Awujale, the traditional ruling, the traditional institution, Ijebu, traditional institution, Yoruba, traditional institution. But because religion is all over the place, the man enjoyed all the benefits of that tradition that made him king. He enjoyed everything. Everybody came. He made so much money. His children made so much money. And when it was about the time for him to die, he decided to bury that tradition. Like, no. I am a Muslim. Therefore, I am going to be buried by Muslims. It didn't stop there. It went as far as, lobbying this dubious Dapo, the governor, to change the law. The law that says anybody that becomes king in Ogun State, they are doing it everywhere right now. These are supposed to be the Yoruba sons, Abi, and the Yoruba leaders and Yoruba elders, Abi. And what makes them Yoruba? Because they can put on Yoruba agbada, dress, and put beads, heavy beads on their, on their necks. Drive these expensive automobiles that were given to them simply because they say they are traditional rulers, not religious rulers. So they enjoyed all the benefits for years, all his life. Then suddenly, he didn't want to be associated with that tradition again. No. I can't let court Ogboni people to come and take my body. No. I am Allah. Allah is my Allah. Allah is my God now. Allah is the one, the greatest, the highest. But no be Allah make you Awujale or make you any king in Yoruba land. So, this is what is getting a lot of people to say, how sensible is this? Can we possibly just stop talking about traditional rulers and call them, give them another title, just give them something, like you have all the politicians, and let everybody stop trying to cosplay, cosplay as traditionalists. They will come around. You will see some of, Oni, that one never talks, say me they know, so that one has faced the tradition proper. But you see so many of them, they say that Jesus is the king. Jesus is this and that, and you are wearing a traditional crown. You are supposed to have passed through the normal traditional ritual that made you king. Are you not mad? So we are now watching those who were supposed to protect and preserve the Yoruba culture, the Yoruba tradition, including the Yoruba traditional institutions, desecrate all of them. They have desecrated all of them, and we are watching it. So is it not time to stop this cosplaying about, How about we just leave all this drama about, a king, because there's absolutely nothing relevant about it anymore. In another 10, 15 years, you have all the political Obas everywhere. So what exactly makes them Oba now? What makes them different from you and I? Because I'm not going to go and bow for anybody who says he's a Christian king, Abi is an Islamic king. I'm not going to go bow down for you. I will avoid you. Like, nobody say I go get there, I will come. No, I will avoid you totally. Like, why should I be around you? You are not a king in Saudi Arabia. You are not a king in Jerusalem, Adina, Israel. What have you? In Yoruba land, right, a king doesn't have any other religion than his traditional religion. His job is to preserve, protect that institution, not make mockery of it, because that's exactly what it is right now, right? So here is a man, right, that enjoyed all the benefits of being called Awujale. And then at the last hour, his last hour, he called this, what do we call these Larubawa people again? We call them something. And they were so proud to pick him, and like, yes, he has come to stay. From now on, we don't want any Sheshe and the rest of that. Awujale of Ijebuland. You would think they are carrying the corpse of the chief imam of Ijebu Ode. That is the Awujale of Ijebuland, the paramount ruler of Ijebuland. Being carried like that. And since you are going to see Alaji Alajas, Afa Alomo Okeu in Ijebu, who are also, to them, Allah has conquered traditionalists. They are Yorubas. They are Yorubas. And they are Ijebuso. In Ijebuland, you will see all of them dress up for traditional, when they are doing all these traditional festivals. They want to be Ijebus that way. But the real thing that makes them that, their tradition, they actually despise it. They despise it. You will see a lot of them gloat over seeing the externals come around to come and adopt this their tradition. I mean, look at, so it becomes a cosplay of the thing. And this is how they treated the supposed traditionalists, who are even just there to pay their own. They were supposed to pay their own last respect as well. They were completely cut off. And some people are very proud of it because Allah has won. Allah is damn.
Oku Muslimini, Oku Muslimini, go back, go back, go back, go Anybody you see with the Shaki, anybody you see with the Shaki, anybody nobody but the Shaki, anybody nobody but the Shaki, come no, no way, don't blame me.
So now let's go over that again. They were not there uninvited because it is actually their right to see him, a king in Ijebuland, had his own real kind of like constituents, in a constituency cut off. They were not uninvited guests. They were actually those who were supposed to be performing that barrier. but they were humiliated. Do you understand? Did you also notice the intolerance of this kind of Muslims? The fanatics that have been trying, including this dead Awujale, the fanatics, these Muslim fanatics, these Islamic fanatics, you know that they are so intolerant enough that they made it look like they were burying a chief imam that joined Ogboni, like a chief imam that joined court, and his court group are coming to come and that's how they anyone that know anybody that you see with Shaki beats them, chase them out of here. And they were so happy. Guess what? They are mostly Yoruba. I mean, they are mostly Ijebus. And I hope some of you will look back in another 10, 15 years and be so proud of what you have done. You know? You should be so proud. Awujale enjoyed the office of the traditional institution. He enjoyed all of that simply because an institution that precede his own forefathers and got preserved until it came to him. Preserved by some people, preserved by some processes, right? But because of their religion, Muslim, Islam said, I'm a Borisha. We cannot be worshipping idol. But they will go, you know what I mean? They will go to Mecca, right? To go and stone an imaginary shaitan. They are so intolerant that they build their supposed relevance on how much they can desecrate their own supposed tradition, which they have rejected. No, I'm no longer a Borisha. Like, you look back in another 10, 20 years. By then, so many of us will be very much older if we are still alive. And maybe we can refer back to this video and say, maybe we saw the future. So is Yoruba culture and tradition now turning into a cosplay, commercialized, monetized, sort of like products now? No substance. Just do everything as cosplay. Let's pretend that we are traditionalists. Let's just pretend that let's dress so fancifully with all these jewelries and all of that. Let's call all the cameramen and all the social media influencers to come and take pictures, come and see us. We love our culture and tradition so much. We are not bothered that it's going to be substanceless. No substance. Yeah? Listen to this guy. He kind of captured it better than myself.
The fact that you allowed, because you were bent on becoming the Awujale, you allowed the traditionalists to keep you in a secluded place for 3 months, performing rituals every day of and those 3 months, 90 days.
You start on that stool for 65
and you start on the stool for 65 years, for God's sake. You are now changing the game. Suddenly, you say you are now a born-again Muslim, and then that nobody... And unfortunately, some traditional rulers are now towing this line. And in a way, even as sophisticated as Britain is today, when the passage rites were to be done for the Queen when she died, a lot of things came up. There was a particular stone that was brought out.
Even a goat.
Even a goat was leading the military parade and all that. So if at that level they still uphold their culture and tradition, why would we? Why should we?
It's really concerning if you
honestly
go through
why
this.
should we go through this trajectory? If you know you are not ready for all these things, stay out of traditional issues.
No.
It's not compulsory that you must be a king.
Exactly. Oh, I'm a Christian. Listen to this. Oh, I'm a Christian. And I'm also a prince. And I know that this traditional institution and everything they do is against my belief. Why should you go and join it? To go and help use your religion to destroy it? Why? You are a Muslim. And you believe strongly in Allah. Like genuinely, you believe strongly in Allah. Why did you submit yourself Because it's all fraud and fraudulent. You see, I mean, I don't get it though. Yeah? These are the characters you call leaders. They lived like leaders. These are not leaders. People who cannot uphold the tenets of the supposed rules that, brought them to this position. If they cannot hold on to that, like, why should they parade themselves as leaders? You understand? Like, I don't want to be part of all of this. It's against my belief. So easy and so simple, then you stay away. Rather than, oh, I'm just going to pretend like, yes, I'm going to be king. And once I become king, I'll just be a born-again king. What is born-again king? You can go on, you can even go on and become a pope, or bishop, or chief imam, or sheikili somewhere. You can be anything, and you can be very much dedicated and say, this is what I want to do. Or you take on the institution of supposed people, a tribe, and you smashed it. And everybody should clap. In the next 10, 20 years, royal institution as you have them in that contraption will become mostly just ceremonial, substanceless. There are still some kings though who also feel concerned, like, what the heck? Like, who is deceiving who? Shouldn't you they deceive your Allah? Now your Allah they deceive you. Which of them is deceiving? Who is deceiving who?
Àwọn ọba sì wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ ọba kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan wọ́n lọ́ba kan ó wàjà. Mo ní tó Ọlọ́run kó ṣe ikú nísìnyí fún àwọn bàbá wa. Ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé ẹni máa jọba sí àwọn bàbá wa jẹ́ àwò dáadáa o. Torí gbogbo wa gbà tá a máa jọba ìyá mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe ń bẹ̀ o. Christian kan ló wé wa ní náà ọ̀tọ̀ àmì òróró lé wa lórí o. Mùsùlùmí ò dẹ̀wé tọ̀ bá ń fún wa o. A apply ni o. Ìṣèpá àjókòó sílé wa tó wá fà wá tipátipá o. Àwa débẹ̀ tó sì àwa dà àṣà. A sọ pé a lè ṣe modification sí bó ṣe ń ṣe ìlànà ìsìnkú ọba. Ṣùgbọ́n ká gbógun ọba síta, ká máa wẹ̀, ká máa kírun sí lára. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kó bá kú o. Ọba máa wà jáde o. Ọlọ́run kẹ̀jẹ́ ká túbọ̀ dàgbà ká dògbò. Lágbára Elédùmarè gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọba èèyàn kì í bó sómi kó tó kó tutù mọ́ òun o. Ẹni tó bá mọ̀ fún òun lọ́ba ẹ̀jẹ̀ kó lọ gbọ́ balẹ̀. Wọ́n pélé fún àtọ́ba jẹ́. Ẹ̀rù ayé tó wà lára tèmi mo sọ fún àwọn ọmọ mi pé ti bá dàgbà máa dá padà. Torí ẹ̀rù ayé wà lára mi. Kò tó ń pè láṣẹ ọba nìyẹn. Ọba tí ò jẹ́ àṣẹ ọba tí ó fẹ́ fi pọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀. Báwo ló ṣe fi palálẹ̀ tó?
So, no wonder when some of them wanted to write Yoruba history, they said that Oduduwa came from Mecca because of this religious influence that they have been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Right? Pushing stupid, useless stories just to ensure that they indoctrinated us with this religious that Oduduwa came from Mecca. He ran away from Mecca and he then came to they even made movies, they wrote books. A royal father, a king, they had to put him right there on the floor. They are bathing him. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Yet most of them actually knows the rituals that made him king. So to them he's converted. That's what those guys were saying there, that, you know what? Nobody forced you to be a king. You were not dragged out of your house that you must be the king. No. Majority of you actually applied. You lobbied, you bribed, people because you want to be king. So that you could enjoy all the benefits, all the respect, the regard, the gifts, everything. But like your criminal politicians in that contraption, never to do the job. Never. It's never to do the job. Nobody forced you to be king. You want to be the leader of the Christians. Alaye, go and apply for Anglican, abi Catholic, abi Kolo join the Oledepo, abi Roboye. They open one branch for you. But yeah, some will say Yorubas have lost it. Baba, look at those we called our Ashiwaju. They call them the Ashiwaju, the leaders of Yoruba land. Go and scrutinize them one by one. Then you realize that Chena the Mongo, Abina the fruit. The fruit didn't fall far from the tree, so to say. Selfish alive, selfish in death. What do you think this is going to be like? What do you think this precedence is going to be like for others all over Yoruba land? They will say, oh, they have made the law. I very strongly believe that a lot can be corrected the moment this Yoruba land is completely detached from this contraption called Nigeria. Everything can be reset. Everything. But for the sake of posterity, for our own children, and that's why they have to see videos like this. Okay? This is not how it is. It was. This is not how it should be, children. This is not how it is done. These guys are as selfish as they were alive and as they are in death. Selfish. But for the record, for the future generations, right? If this hasn't been changed by the time you are old enough, you should do it. Read your history. These mofos have done so much to rewrite the history in their selfishness, and they have all the gullible idiots that will defend them because religion is a very powerful stuff in that contraption. They said it is the opium of the poor. Sometimes it's actually the opium of the rich too. They get eye on it. You come across my video in 10 years or 20 years, gentlemen and ladies, this was never how it was. These selfish rogues changed everything. They even made laws to make it permanent, but it won't be. Not for long. Now let's put that aside like other things that will never be. There was a time that Bokuwari was the evil that Nigerians always dreamt about. At the time, Bokuwari became deaf and dumb. That they had to rush him down to the UK for ear infection. He know the hear, he know the talk. So it was then they discovered that the people of Benue and the bloodbath that they have suffered under Bokuwari, there were a group of them that will go up to the hills very early in the morning, and they will be calling Buario, Buario, like that. That's how Bokuwari became deaf and dumb. For those of you who remember that ear infection, right? Today, that Bokuwari is dead as Dodo. And his evil lives on even after him. However, as they are concluding his burial, so they are wrapping up what they called a valedictory or something for Bokuwari in Abuja. So I put this together, right? Including their supposed fake meeting where Bokuwari's children were all in attendance, right? So, the first one.
Mataimakina Sheikh Yusuf Sambo da kuwa shugaban Izala Sheikh Abdul Nasir Abdul Muhyi da mataimakanmu gaba ɗaya kamar yadda aka sani mai headquarter a Jos. Allah saka kowa da alheri. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Mun gode kwarai da wannan bayani. Your Excellency, the next
Adetona, is Professor Ibrahim Makari. Professor Ibrahim Makari. Mai haka na gaba shi ne Professor Ibrahim Makari. Malam Bismillah. Minti uku ne muna tana shi ne zai ga allow him to please come to the microphone. Haka mutalahu ba lokaci a hanzarta. Sallu ala nabi karim.
Governor Forum, all members of the Executive Council, to the family of Muhammadu Buhari present here today. Today we gather under the heavy shadow drawn from the silence that surrounds a departed leader and the immense weight of a life whose absence will be felt for generations. We meet to honor a man whose presence once commanded this very room, whose voice once summoned the best in us, and whose conviction never bowed, even to the strongest winds of public opinion. President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, former head of state and former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has gone to rest. Soldiers in war. First among citizens in peace, and first without ambition or flattery in the heart of his fellow citizens. Yet it was in the quiet and unadorned settings of his private life that his true greatness was revealed. Pious, without show.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
Just in case if all of now won't forget. Now that's called Udia Shah reading about how Bokwari sorry about that. So how Bokwari served Nigeria and other deblas. Then he went on as well to rename University of Maiduguri after Bokwari. I told you that yesterday. That's what they do. They will name monuments after him. They will name buildings. They will name structures, everything after him. The man that actually ruined and destroyed that contraption. Because the one that is here right now is already beating the record. So by the time that one gets, 4 years now, by the time he is done, those who live and survived to that time, they will also be called upon to say, he did and worked everything for you, all his life. Bokwari University, Maiduguri, according to Kolu.
In honor of his memory, with this special session of the Federal Executive Council expanded, can we adopt the naming of University of Maiduguri with a new name as Muhammadu Buhari University, Maiduguri.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
Just so we are clear. Then Yusuf, Bokwari's son, that never worked in his life, but he is a billionaire. So you hear, and it is simply because he is Bokwari's son. He is that young man that crashed, how much was that bike again? 150 million, I've been a 50 million naira bike in Abuja. Yeah, they had to kind of like quickly he lifted him outside Nigeria for treatment. Yusuf is married, is jobless. And if you know where he works, tell me, oh, I won't mind. Oh, can you tell me where he works? Like his father, he's never worked in his life. He's educated in one of the best schools in the UK. Or maybe they will say he's a businessman. You know, that's what they do. When they have that access to this unlimited money, you may just suddenly be like, oh, he's the CEO of exquisite cigar, exquisite lingerie, exquisite this and that. Because they can run it and they don't have to make any profit anyway. So the young boy has been living in London since the divorce of his parents. However, he is there today to give a vote of thanks to Kolu and everyone else that helped to bury Bokwari Madu. Yusuf, his son.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to acknowledge the protocols already established. On behalf of the entire members of the late Muhammadu Buhari's family, I wish to sincerely extend our deepest gratitude to Mr. President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the Vice President, His Excellency Kashim Shettima, and his wife, Hajiya Nana Kashim, for your outstanding foreign support received by the family from the time he took ill until he peacefully passed on, which was Sunday, 13th of July, 2025. It has showed that he was regarded far more than a politician, but regarded as a friend and a father. To all members of the Federal Executive Council, for the care and befitting state burial accorded to our late father, we appreciate you all. I also wish to thank the Senate President, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and all the distinguished and honorable members of the National Assembly for honoring the memory of our late father during the state burial in Deborah. I will also not forget to mention and convey our appreciation for the support from the Attorney General of the Federation and members of the Judiciary, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Nigerian High Commission in London, the Governor of Katsina State, Borno State as well, and all his colleagues for identifying and standing firmly with us during this difficult period. Let me specially and specifically acknowledge the Chief of Defense Staff, the service chiefs, heads of security and law enforcement agencies, as well as all members of the armed forces of Nigeria, our late father's first and primary constituency, for the esprit de corps, solidarity, and the benefiting and the befitting military burial given to our late father. Finally, we thank all members of the diplomatic corps, traditional and religious leaders, political associates, friends, family members, the press, and indeed all Nigerians at home and in diaspora for the numerous calls, messages, condolence visits, and prayers offered for the repose of the gentle soul of our departed father. Your visits, calls, and prayers symbolize a great honor to the memory of our late father, and we're sincerely grateful for all the support and solidarity extended to the family. May Allah continue to bless us all and to bless all of us. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. May Allah continue to bless, to guide, and protect you throughout your tenure. Success.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
So that's the Yusuf. I don't know, maybe he's just acting. But that one didn't look like somebody who schooled in the UK. Because, you can say if I am wrong, because there's something about them in this country. You know, if you grew up in this country, there's something about, and you schooled here, right? There's something about them that sort of like, about the children, right? That just makes them more more composed and confident. Talking is never a weakness for a child born and raised in the UK, like Yusuf, then born into wealth as well. I guess it probably runs in the family, you know. Speech was written for somebody like that, and gosh, a vote of thanks it is, I think. Anyway, while they were at it, the hard-working people or the hard-working civil servants of Ogun State are telling us what life is like under dubious Dapo and other places, even in the southwest of Nigeria. This was supposed to break your heart. But not to get any heart to break, so I will just kind of like protect mine. But listen.
I will just speak one level because of our time. Level 7 in Ogun State. Your basic salary is 18,787. I want you to listen keenly. The basic salary, the one that we refer to as your own salary. Other allowances are just privileges. In Ogun State, your basic salary for level 17 is 18,787. For level 7, or your state is paying 59,200. Listen to me. It is your basic salary that they use to determine your pension. It is your basic salary that they use to determine your gratuity. It is your basic salary that they use to determine your leave allowance. And yet Ogun State, that is second best when it comes to IGR in the entire nation, is paying the least in southwestern states. What is your basic salary in Ogun for level 7? 18,000. Oyo is paying 59,200. Osun is paying 55,952. 135. Lagos State is paying 60,751. Ekiti State is paying 44,247. Ondo State is paying 48,645. While Ogun State is paying 18,000. Is that how we will continue? No. Is that what Ogun State workers want? No. If we are generating after Lagos State, Ogun State is the next.
This is the consequence of the vote you voted. And it's too early to cry now because actually the real problem hasn't come. This is the consequence of the vote you voted. And it's too early to cry now because actually the real problem hasn't come.
Still on his way. The real shege still they do. They say the real shege still they undress. He won't go for shower. Whatever you are facing under Tifnumbu right now, now warm up. Like, you know, it's like somebody who is going to Ibadan from Idumota. You know, all those traffic and everything, you know, so he's getting ready to go to Ibadan. So it's like still getting ready to go into the shower. Yeah, dress up and, you know, get on the bike and to the bus and down to Ibadan. That is exactly what the kind of shege that is still coming looks like. You don't have to believe me. You can believe this guy.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government, things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations.
Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmà ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
So let's leave that. Workers in Nigeria, and that is, I think that is more reason why El Rufaya in one of his, diatribes, right? He categorically said Tifnumbu is a total failure. Today is Thursday. Let's call it a throwback Thursday. Oh yeah, Fisi.
Throughout the polling before the 2023 election, we knew that the election was going to be tight, very tight. But we were ahead. We knew we were going to be tight. We have done some polling, and I have mentioned some time ago that in many parts of the country, particularly in the southeast and the north, President Tinubu has 91% disapproval rating. Even in Lagos, he has 78% disapproval rating. Okay? In some states,
and that's a scientific poll.
It's a scientific poll,
right.
and in some states in the southwest, he's doing a bit better. Ondo Ekiti, he's doing better than 78% disapproval rating, but there is nowhere he's doing better than 50%, even in the southwest. The guy is gone. He's performed miserably. The economy has tanked. The security architecture has failed. There are no clear trade, industrial, and investment policies. Everything is going wrong. They are raising lots of revenues, but we don't know where the revenues are going because there are no results.
Well, they say they're giving a lot of that money to the states. And let's face it, development, you were a governor before.
Yeah, the states
are responsible for development.
They are not responsible for all development.
Not all.
States are responsible for education, healthcare, and so on.
Key, aren't they?
But major infrastructure, electricity, our rail system, our aviation system, the telecom system, is all under exclusively federal so far. So yes, the states are getting more money in Naira terms, but my question is, where are the results? President Tinubu went to Kaduna last week to commission projects. 90% of all the projects he commissioned were the project that I did and took to 90% plus. Okay? No new projects have been initiated and commissioned in 2 years by this administration, even though they have had much more money. So the question is, and I gave the example of Kaduna only because I'm from the state and I know it pretty well and I get a lot of data about what is going on there. But the story is the same in most states of Nigeria. Some governors are trying hard, but frankly, most of them are not doing much with those resources. And the federal oversight is very weak because the president wants all the governors to be in APC.
But they would make the argument that he's only been in office for 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, is it fair to assess him based on 2 years?
Of course, it is fair to assess him. He has assessed others based on 1 year. He has assessed others in the past. You see, the beauty of the 21st century is there is an audit trail of what you have said or done. When when Jonathan was president and Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu tweets then, as far as security is concerned, the buck stops at the president's desk. You bring that out to him and show him when he tries to say, oh, you know, governor, go and fix your security problem. No, the governor cannot fix security problems because defense, police, security is exclusively federal. As governors, we were chief security officers only in name. Okay, so don't outsource security to the states. Fix it. Hire more boots on the ground. Equip them, retool them, and so on. And you know, Charles, for the last 12 months or up to 18 months, every month, 100 billion naira is deducted from the Federation account and sent to the security agencies. Why is there no improvement? In 2024, over 2.2 million Nigerians were abducted. 615,000 were killed. Is Nigeria at war? These numbers are worse than the 8 years of Buhari. In 1 year. This is data from Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. So it's government data. I'm not quoting something out of the air. So for that 100 billion that goes out every month from Federation account without appropriation by the National Assembly, by the way, without appropriation by the state assemblies, because part of the money belongs to the states. So each state assembly is supposed to appropriate that part. So the entire deduction and expenditure is unconstitutional. It's an impeachable offense. But it has been going on for more than 15 months from the last time I checked. So where has that 1.5 trillion gone? What is it being used for? Why is the security situation just getting worse? Why is the government asking communities to protect themselves? Look,
well,
President Tinubu's government has failed woefully. Look, beyond, if...
I think na statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that no Indian can solve it. I think na statistic we go chop.
So that's a throwback to when El Rufaya was roasting Kalu, and it fits in better to use that this there is more. It's a throwback too. This short one.
Bola Tinubu was never someone I was close to, even in the party, because in the party I was a Buhari boy. Bola has his boys, Buhari had his boys. We are Buharists. No apologies. So Bola Tinubu was...
You get that? Tinubu sent 100 billion naira from Federation accounts to the Nigerian military. And yet, Nigerians are still being killed. Kaduna Littlefinger, El Rufaya of Kaduna, is a perfect necessary evil, right? They are brought in Tinubu. Then they used him, dumped him, and right now he is a preacher. Is a preacher of forgive me, I will help you remove the evil that are brought upon you. So now Nigerians are hoping to use evil to remove evil and then make a good one, which is Peter Obi, the president. That itself seems like a mirage, right? Well, maybe to those who never actually support Obi. To the Obidients, Obi will be president, whether you like it or not. And they are religiously pushing it. Okay? So no matter your permutation, right, political permutations and the rest of the right, to the Obedient, you are just an overrated self-deluding individual to think you actually know them. I've heard them say that, by the way, so that's not me making that up, okay? So Peter Obi's birthday is in the next couple of days, I heard. I don't know the exact day. However, they said he's going to turn 64. And the Obedients who have made every year of his birthday since 2022 a form of service. One kind of could go to the charity or go to the orphanage homes. Some of them would be doing freebies on social media. But most of them today, or in the last couple of days, I have seen them. I've been going about doing what is called the community service. I've been at community services. They have either been clearing or clearing the roadside, picking up a rubbish, going to school to, I put some videos together though, including some baddies that were cutting grass. Yeah. The Obedients.
This is the first billboard. We have 3 billboards for our own man, His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi. The hope of Nigerians, the hope of a better Nigeria. We are wishing you a happy birthday in advance. So, we the Obedients in Ondo State have to erect this, and we have 2 more in honor of His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi. Yes, we wish you well. We wish you well. Nigeria must be better. Nigeria must be better. Yes, Nigeria must be better. This is from the Obedients in Ondo State. Thank you. And I do this one, Obedients, and I do this one. Thank you.
So, na mukwele mege beta. Na tabaga ko ta o mo ju ma so. Owo bere yan na iwo nyade. Itobi. Ati o kile tere. So. Awu ju ma de ko. So. Ati kile de mele. Ko ma ya so ju te le kan mi ya. Kuro don daga dia. Aye ko chire na. Aye ko chire wa ko chire. Yes. Wo ye megen. Wo ye megen. Great snake. Yes. Na you kwele he na me bata. Na e be na me awa ebu o me say me get strength. I na wo mo open it na no na dia is. Akoya ele bona he na kai na. Mr. Peter Obi. Ele kwa no zi na ezi amaka 2027. Ebu na ezi na ya isi ka ku na azu. Akoya. Ya ku na azu. Dalo. Ya gaje. It's a beehive of activities. Namukwele hemege beta. Leke na bufuel gaga. Leke hemege beta. Na yo bito bi anya nyo fuel lo bito. Yes so. Elekwe ni ga se elo to birin. Obide mo to we. Akwaya. Ba jo ka hecha Nigeria. Yes so. Leke ge emego ka. Ba enye president. Yes so. Ba ka le ga fine. Fuel ego le ka baga kura na ngita. Awo bere hio. Boss ni le ga frenga ta for 5,000. Say, amen.
This is the Obedient Movement state executives for Osun State arriving at the special school for persons with disabilities. So we are just arriving now. We are just arriving and we're expecting other members to join us. So we are here to donate the stationery and the essential materials. So we have in our midst a member of the National Advisory Council, the person of the Comrade Larry Fadansi. So he's there with us, fully heavy with us there. So we have other members of the BVM movement as well. So we just arrived. So at the venue, and we're still expecting other members to arrive. So we are here to donate the stationaries and essential material and essential items as well. So based on the request of the school, so we were able to identify their requirements before we come. So we are here. We are here.
Sorry, go wrong way. Why don't go put your waist in please? Hello?
Okay, I can see. Your prefect in the throw hole for you. Or cutlass.
You must cut grass now.
I'm not supposed to be doing this.
What?
Please, I'm not directing. I'm not standing.
You can really do the shovel thing. You really clean very well. See what I did. See what you did. Look at what he's doing. Very clean.
No.
Listen.
What I was doing was
Bravo.
our able River State Obedients, our coordinator, leading by example. He leads by example. He doesn't just send his people to the field. He's there. He's there with us. he said don't go with it. He's lead truly. What? Your Steve.
You know that's supposed to be illegal.
No, Obedients don't lie.
When the issue of Biafra came, Charlie Boy said it's not in support of Biafra, we are rascals, we are decent. 70 years old man. Then tear gas him. They tear gas him. He fell. He fainted. He passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. But when their people came, police with horses, with everything, patrol vehicle, were escorting them. And they were dancing and singing and abusing Charlie Boy. But they say Charlie Boy is our mumu don't too much. Charlie Boy, now your mumu not too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise. You are a mumu man. You are a mumu man. And then throw it. When the
we are a poor nation. The bank code will follow. They say firewood, not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, try shining, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They're doing.
They're doing. As I call them. So yeah, just to put that out there to those of you who have been fed that the Obedients are the toxic this or toxic that. So it's always good to put something like that out there so that you get to know that no, they are not. And if they can be half of what the Ronukus are, maybe we'll go down get a revolution by now. Do you ever think of that though? Like, do you ever think that if these Obedients, if they are just like half of the Ronu Nazis, if they are just as half toxic as they are, to think we probably we don't get our civil revolution now, because the Obedients are very powerful when it comes to expressing themselves. For instance, right? Instead of them to say, for instance, instead of them to say, now who go kill you, now who go kill your papa, if them boy your papa come out this and that, no, they won't say that. Most Obedients won't really say that. So they likely have to explain to you why Ogun will kill you. And then how that Ogun will kill you. Then in case if the Ogun doesn't meet you, it will kill somebody next to you. And, they will explain it to you in a way that you will likely have to read the whole thing. Now, from when you get to almost the bottom, you say, I'm in shape with Muminisha. If like say this girl, they cost me. People go on, they explain to you, say, no cost you now. He just explain to you how you suppose just like for you know what I mean. So they are very good at that. That the Ronukus, when they are responding to them, you'll be. I mean, if you are a good, if you're a good troll like myself, sort of like a soft through these guys a lot, right? So the Ronukus are always going to be like, if they burn your papa well, come out. We could deal with all of you because Ronuku is always ready. You know, like a normal tout, like a normal area boys in Lagos, right? You know, area boys in Lagos, before they even throw the first punch, before you get the first punch, they will don't use mouth tell you how or what is going to happen to you by first introducing themselves. Emi shege fogo, yonyi. Emi omo akoni from me this. Okay, I'll say that in English. Look at this one. You want to fight me? You want to fight Forifogo? Me, Forifogo. The son of Akoni, the son of a horse owner from Ibadan. It's kind of like that. You know what I go do to you? By the time I start with you, I go first give your mama, give your baba this one. Come, your entire family, I go come. I go daga. Now you in the fight too. They don't tell you what will happen just like that. So the Ronukus are like that on social media. And they always love to follow it through. Because at the end of the day, they're just going to be like, I'm just going to eat you and run, kind of. Yeah? But the obedient people who are just going to be like, why are you behaving like somebody who just, dropped from their mom's, what have you? Like, did you hit your head on the floor? On the ground when you were born? They are trying to tell you that you are mad. But they're not going to say you are mad. They'll say, why are you behaving like somebody who they didn't give birth to in the hospital? Like you are somebody like, you're acting like someone who just fell on his head, like from your mom's Say, are you trying to say that I'm mad? No. I said you are behaving like somebody who, like whose brain, that's how they talk. So imagine if they are as confrontational and as toxic and as violent as the Ronukus. By now, at the Tini Revolution, by now, we probably would have sorted everything. But we'll get there. It's a matter of time. To avoid all of that, there are people who are calling on these guys right now to please, let's have a conversation on how to break up this contraption to save lives. Break up Nigeria and save lives. It is one of the best curated idea. I said that. I said break up Nigeria to save lives. So if you don't want to physically break up Nigeria, break up this centralization. Everybody they handle affair. It's not a problem. The likes of Anyaku, Emeka Anyaku, and others, they have lived the last 20 years of their lives trying to preach this idea of, why don't we just try to change this form of government? This contraption is not working. It is never going to work. But if we are so obsessed with one another, which we are not obsessed with one another. We don't love ourselves that much, okay? Everybody day in day. We'd have probably a mutual respect is better than forceful relationship, a forceful union. Mutual respected boundary, kind of like a relationship is better. So the likes of Anyaku and others have been saying, listen, if people seem to just are so obsessed with this name like Nigeria, how about you go this route? Don't physically break it. They've been saying it all this while. Until that is done, if they do it before we start the revolution, because it's going to happen, right? If they do it before then, they will be saving a lot of lives. At the end of the day, the law of natural selection means once this whole thing reached that point of no return, we would have to kill a lot of us. A lot of us would have to die. And those who survive from the rubble of whatever these guys, where they are leading us to, right? Those who survive will likely, hopefully, will learn from all of this and never take this trajectory again. Emeka Anyaku, as always.
There is serious insecurity of life and property, with kidnappings and killings happening virtually every day in most parts of the country, especially in the Middle Belt, the Northeast, the Northwest regions, where not only huge numbers of life and property are regularly lost, but also farmers are no longer able to go to their farms, thereby impacting adversely on the country's food supply. Secondly, Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world, with the levels of poverty and sufferings among the citizens rising rather than diminishing. And thirdly, the development of the country's infrastructure is generally lagging behind, including especially in health and education facilities, which in many cases are no longer fit for purpose. Fourthly, there is eroding sense of national unity within a pluralistic country that is still struggling to become a nation. Again, there is a palpable mood of hopelessness and lack of confidence in the future among the growing population of our young people. And overall, the present 36 federating units are obviously incapable of generating and sustaining the pace of national development achieved in the early years of our independence under the 1963 Constitution. In organizing this national summit, the patriots are of the view that the incontrovertible facts that I have mentioned can be more effectively reversed if our pluralistic country is given a more credible and truly federal constitution, democratically made by the Nigerian people, a constitution that would be in sync with the constitutions of successful pluralistic countries around the world. To those who say that the fate of a country depends primarily on its leadership, I say that the constitution from which the system of governance is derived largely determines the character of the people who get elected or appointed. There is serious insecurity of life and property, with kidnappings and killings.
Jay, help us, oh, help us. There is God, oh. There is God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh. God should descend, oh, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. This thing will end today. My sisters, if your child lost, will you stay and keep quiet? Will you people stay and keep quiet? The presidency now is calling you, come, I want to help you. You don't want to appear. Will you agree? Now the first lady is calling you, come, I want to help you. Come to find your child, your missing child. Will you keep quiet? Child, there is God, oh. There is God, oh. The bloods we are sharing, there is God, oh. 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 It's okay. There is God. Shame.
Femi Falana says, it is only a revolution that will remove an unwanted set of brigands like the APC. Falana.
It's illegal to agree with that again, a similar provision is in the electoral 2022. INEC is empowered to issue guidelines and accept any method in fit to have elections. INEC under Professor Mamo came out publicly and on several occasions. They were going to use device machines for accreditation of voters. We also going to transmit election results electronically, instantly. But in the case of Ijebu and Adeleke, the Supreme Court said the use of device machines and transmission of results electronically was optional while it is not compulsory. My duty is simple. I can simply say that I hereby suggest that the National Assembly should amend Electoral 2022 to allow the use of device machines and electronic transmission of results under the law by making them part of the 2022 electoral. But if I say that, please don't laugh at me. If I say that, and I be talking to the guests, the current members of the National Assembly, and I have profound respect for, I can fully identify the member of the National Assembly here. So I have my respect for you, sir. I want to stay with
my time is almost up, and I don't want to go over time. So anyway, the revolution will throw out the brigands that are practicing this fake constitution. That's pretty much what he wanted to tell us. We don't have all evening. So a Ghanaian, well, two women, two ladies. One made a video from Delta, another made our own video from Lagos. They were both showing what they saw on the roads. Delta, Lagos. The one in Delta is a Nigerian. The one that made the video from Lagos, she's a Ghanaian who became so shocked. Like, is this the same Nigeria? Is this the same Lagos? Her first time in Lagos, she started like screaming, Bola, Kion, or something like that. I'm still looking for the meaning, although. If you're a Ghanaian, the last part of this video I'm about to share with you, right? Please tell me, what is she saying in that clip? Shock one wound down. Say, na mega city, but this is a mega shitty. Internet daru.
Oh, I don't get my own boat. See our river. Now I'm up with the.
For your information, that first video is not a river. It's actually a road. A road-turn river. Just for your information. FYI.
Oh, I don't get my own boat. See our river. Now I'm up with the. It could be like say na village na ade. I never go Gurugudu, I never go Finamao. I not go Polobo. I dey Amokwe, Saple, Monasi. See my own boat, I don't buy you. Na new one. See people, see the first boat we use and they carry. Uncle self dead the boat. Suffer.
From start to end. Ball and one. We in your glass in one. We a baller. We a ball and one. Oh, leave me alone.
That's why we country. That's why we country. Why are you doing that?
We a ball and one. We in your glass in one. We a ball and one. Ball and one. Left and right.
Left and right.
Left and right.
As Ghana is a heavy in West Africa.
Oh, I don't get.
Shock one finisher. Ola Gua or something. I don't understand what that means in Ghana. Somewhere in the middle belt again. This time it's surrounded Nasarawa, right? A bridge under construction. An overhead or a flyover on a bridge under a flyover under construction. A part of that bridge all fell off and it just killed 2 people, injured 2. And you can imagine what the rest of the project is made of. Take a look at this.
I need to turn the ball.
That pillar is what fell down on people. 2 people died instantly, while 2 others, God knows what happened to them, but they are not dead. So 2 dead, 2 survived, critically injured. Do you get what I mean, right? Ongoing project too. Anyway, on that note is where I am going to draw the curtain this evening, brethren. So thank you so much for your time. Again, please, as we are signing out, please like the broadcast, share it, and subscribe onto the channel as well if you haven't. I will see you again another time. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your evening. I've been a night. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún dáyàrí pòlítíkò.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ìmọ̀ yìí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ìmọ̀ yìí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.